This is News Channel 20 at 6.
Tonight, only on News Channel 20, the mother of 11-month-old Caden Gullidge is speaking out the day after this woman, 68-year-old Cami Kelly, was convicted of involuntary manslaughter in Caden's death. Good evening. Nearly 5 years of waiting for yesterday's verdict.
News Channel 20's Eric Felton sat down exclusively with Rebecca Spangler about the trial, Cami Kelly, and what's next. Eric.
Maggie, Stacy, hearing the verdict was a long time coming. Rebecca Spangler says almost surreal. She can't believe the trial she's been waiting on for almost 5 years is now over. And now she says it's time to remember Caden, but also to move on. Rebecca Spangler will always remember her little boy.
His great uncle David gave it to him.
She holds on to Caden Gullidge's favorite toys, his Redbird and his blanket, and watches old videos. But her 11-month-old son has been gone about 5 years.
Pure hell. I mean, it's just been waiting and waiting and waiting.
On Wednesday, Caden's former daycare provider, Cami Kelly, was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
Cami can no longer do whatever she wants. She has to do what she's told. She has a very boring life ahead of her in prison.
It closes this chapter of her nightmare.
She's getting some punishment, but no punishment could ever be enough.
At Kelly's sentencing in February, Spangler says she plans to address the former daycare provider.
She never really admitted to what she really did, so it's kind of hard to give her a message when she can't be truthful.
And if Cami Kelly speaks,
let's say she apologizes, what would you say?
Nothing she's going to say can be forgiven. What she did was unforgivable.
Spangler says friends and family have kept her going since Caden's death. She'll keep Caden in her heart, and he lives on in others too.
We do get letters from his organ donor recipients that they're doing fine and they're healthy.
Spangler says now she'll try and enjoy the holidays with her family. Cami Kelly's bond was revoked and she was taken into custody immediately after Wednesday's verdict. She faces between 2 and 5 years in prison and will be sentenced on February 5th. Back to you.
All right, Eric, thanks so much for that report. Well, an alert for you now. Ameren, Illinois wants to warn you about a new scam targeting its customers. They say that scam artists pose as Ameren employees who contact customers and threaten to disconnect their services unless immediate payments are made. Ameren wants you to know it does not ask for customers' account or financial information. Ameren officials say that the best way to avoid the scam is to stay vigilant.
You should never allow anyone inside of your home, if they're supposed to be a utility worker, unless you've already contacted us about an outage or if there's any type of an emergency situation.
Customers who suspect a fraud attempt should call Ameren's customer service. That number, 1-800-755-5000. Scam alerts are also posted on Ameren's social media accounts.
In political news, we are just a few weeks away from the new year, and the state will start off 2016 without a budget. Today, the top 4 party leaders and the governor were scheduled for another meeting, the latest in a weekly series since the start of the month. News Channel 20 State House reporter Jordan Abadea joining us now with details. Jordan.
Stacey, that meeting in Chicago was one leader short because House Speaker Mike Madigan couldn't make it due to scheduling conflicts, according to a spokesperson. But the other leaders continued with their meeting, citing it as a step in the right direction. Speaker Madigan's absence at the latest leaders meeting didn't go unnoticed by Republican leaders.
The fact is we're not going to move this along unless we all are fully participating and actively involved in these negotiations. There were 4 of us. We had a good discussion, but we're not going to get any further down the road unless we have everyone in this room.
The Republican leaders said the discussion behind closed doors was robust and focused heavily on the reforms they need to see before finding revenue to balance the budget.
We talked about five subjects that are pretty heady and they're pretty significant areas that we've been talking about and the governor's been talking about for some time. Work comp reform, redistricting reform, term limits, school aid issues, so pension reform. So each one of those took some time, but again, it was a good discussion. We need more participation though.
Senate President John Cullerton was the only Democrat at the meeting. His spokesperson says he pushed for school funding formula reform to be a part of the package of reforms that leads to a budget. The Senate President's spokesperson says he was encouraged by today's discussions, but both sides are aware of the impact the standoff is having on the state.
Well, it's uncharted territory for sure. I mean, what we end up doing is just getting further and further and further behind in bills. Vendors may eventually stop doing business with the state. We've never been in this situation, so it's uncharted territory.
We reached out to Speaker Madigan's spokesperson to see if the speaker was offended by the latest attack ad against him by the Illinois GOP. His spokesperson said the speaker isn't surprised the attacks happen every 2 years around election time, so that's not the reason he didn't show up to the meeting. Maggie, back to you.
All right, Jordan, thanks so much for that report. 8 Points Charter School in Jacksonville now has 30 days to appeal after the school district voted last night to not extend its contract with the school. The school board debated the future of the school, which has more than 110 students, for more than 4 hours Wednesday night. The district superintendent says the move will save the district $750,000 a year, while 8 Points argued low scores on state exams are an unfair assessment of the school.
New at 6, a federal grant worth $3 million is now coming to Matheny Withrow Elementary in Springfield. The school's principal tells News Channel 20 it's still prioritizing its budget and how to use the grant, but the school does have some ideas.
One of the goals is to develop what we call a full service community on-site school. So not only will families come to Matheny to see their kids and be part of their students' lives, they'll come to benefit themselves in a variety of ways.
Among the other ideas, extending the school day so students have more time to learn, offering more parent-teacher conferences, increasing more professional development for teachers, and offering classes to parents so they can learn how to be more involved in the community. A University of Springfield grad student who's also the president of the Muslim organization there is helping give back to refugees in Syria. Asad Sohail started a clothing drive for those displaced for 2 weeks. He and other students have gathered donations from drop boxes they put around campus. They say they got more than 40 large bags filled with clothing.
I believe sometimes we're really restricted to where we live, and we see this stuff on the news all the time and we want to help, but we really can't, and this is just an effort of how you can help in a global community.
If you'd like to help, students will be accepting donations from the public until 5 p.m. tomorrow at the UIS Diversity Center.
And for nearly 2 weeks, we've been spoiled by some unseasonably mild weather. We knew it wouldn't be lasting, and unfortunately again today, yes, we're definitely feeling winter's chill. Here's a live picture now of downtown Springfield, and yes, today we had a lot of cloudy skies out there. It was kind of gray and murky to say the least, and the temperatures were also held back because of that cloud cover. Right now we're seeing temperatures all in the lower 30s all across the region, with 32 degrees for Danville, 33 for Decatur, Lincoln checking in 33. Just a smidgen warmer for Springfield right now, sitting at 34. Even with the cloudy skies though, no rain, no snow to be had. Our Doppler radar very, very quiet right now. Looking down the road though, it's going to have that look and feel of December for the next couple of days. More sunshine though should be returning tomorrow, and it will be getting warmer for next week. The big question though, when does that warmer air finally make its arrival? Stay tuned. We'll have your complete forecast coming up in just a moment.
All right, Cheryl, thanks so much. Well, as you look to stay warm with temperatures cooling off, you can count on News Channel 20 to have the latest weather forecasts. You can find them anytime on our website, newschannel20.com. You can also like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Still ahead, how long some fans in Springfield say they'll be waiting in line for the first showing of the Star Wars movie, The Force Awakens, in the capital city.
And are the St. Louis Rams in for one final battle in the Gateway City tonight? Donnie Tillman previews their matchup and more coming up in sports. Have you heard?
No.
Maybe you've heard. The new Star Wars movie hits theaters tonight.
It does. Fans we talked to bought tickets months ago and started lining up for the evening showings hours ago.
News Channel 20's Brett Baldick joins us from AMC Showplace on Springfield's West Side with a look at all of the excitement. Brett?
Well, some Star Wars fans will be spending close to 12 hours at the theater today. That's because they showed up at noon today. We're actually joined by one of those fans right now. Marty Smith, you came here at noon today. Explain to people, why would you come so early?
Oh, it's just it's holiday season. It's a new Star Wars movie. I've seen them all. I haven't missed one yet. I haven't missed opening day yet, and didn't want to be second in line.
And just explain to people that maybe haven't seen Star Wars, what is the big draw for this movie?
Well, the big draw is the story, the characters, and the way it brings in families, and everybody can enjoy the good side, the evil side, and get something out of it. It's fantastic to see this kind of people. This kind of movie is fantastic.
And then what are your expectations for tonight? I know we were talking about Disney took over part of the movie. You're a little bit concerned about that, but what are you expecting?
Well, I expect nothing but the best from J.J. Abrams. It should be really good. They've built full-scale models. They've done a lot less green screen. It just should be a really good story, and it's neat to see how it's progressed over the years. It should be nothing but fantastic.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'll let him get back inside. He actually has a front row seat right at the bar, so he's got his feet up, perfectly relaxed. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Again, the showings start at 7 o'clock tonight, and there will be one every 30 minutes straight through midnight. Reporting live in Springfield, Brett Baldeck, News Channel 20.
Okay, I hope he got his place in line, Brett, there. Thank you. Well, AMC theaters say it encourages fans to dress as their favorite characters, but it does not allow masks or face painting. For a complete list of what's allowed and what's not, just head to our website, newschannel20.com.
After recent terrorist attacks in San Bernardino, California and Paris, France, our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, is asking you, will you arm yourself for protection? Take the poll and join the conversation on our Twitter page at WICS_ABC20.
Taking a live look at the capital city, the chill is on as we head into the weekend, but it looks like we could see another warm-up down the road. Chief Meteorologist Cheryl Lemke is in next with a full check of that forecast. But first, here are today's closing market numbers.
Now, your Storm Team 20 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Cheryl Lemke.
Well, the chill is in the air, but that's not stopping folks to get out there because there's lots to do tonight, especially Star Wars.
Oh, yes.
I was like you, though. I had to crank up the furnace a little bit, though. It's been a little bit on the nippy side for me. A little bit too chilly for my liking, but hey, you have to kind of take the good with the bad sometimes.
Indeed.
Taking a look at our latest tower cam here, a downtown shot of Springfield, capital city, and boy, it's been a real cloudy, kind of gray, murky day. And it wasn't just isolated to Springfield. Check on how widespread the cloud coverage really was. From Danville on into Fort Wayne, all the way back to St. Louis, all of us, we were really socked in with the clouds today. And these clouds, unfortunately, are very stubborn, very pesky, very slow to move on out. So they'll be with us at least through the overnight hours. Along with that, too, the clouds kept temperatures on the cool side, and we stayed in the 30s today. Our high only topped off at 36 degrees. Yes, it has been a big cool down from what we had yesterday, but here's the good news. At least the temperatures are fairly seasonable. It's giving us a reality check as we're getting back to more December-like temperatures here across the region. All through the region, though, yes, a big market cool down from what it was yesterday. From Lincoln on into Decatur, we had temperatures about 5 to about 10, in some cases close to 15 degrees cooler right now than what it was yesterday. At this point, we're kind of shivering if you're stepping outside. We're seeing temperatures fluctuating right around the freezing mark right now with 32 for Champaign. Good evening to those of you in Mattoon, 32 for Taylorville. Springfield right now checking in at 34 degrees. And pretty much what you see is what you'll be getting. The temperature's not really warming up anymore. They're going to be going down, down, down for the rest of the evening hours, and it stays chilly at least through tomorrow. Here's our latest weather setup in that low pressure area that brought us some rain early yesterday morning. Again, has long cleared the area. It's heading up towards Hudson Bay. But in the wake of that low pressure system, we're still seeing this very persistent northwesterly flow, which continues to drive in really cool weather. And that'll be the big weather story for the next couple of days or so. Winds right now typically from the northwest, averaging around 5 to about 15 miles per hour. I think they'll pretty much stay that strength through the rest of the evening hours. So let's check on your forecast. Again, the clouds pretty much widespread all through the area. Very gray, murky night, but as we go through tomorrow, we start to see signs of some changes taking place. The clouds will eventually try to break apart a little bit. Still, though, that cold air continues to pour in, and I'll tell you what, especially up to the north of Interstate 74, I really wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a stray snow flurry. No appreciable snow is likely, but you can see with our little forecast model, it is indicating some white here, which shows us a sign of perhaps some snow. So maybe some snowflakes heading north of Champaign by early tomorrow afternoon. Aside from that, though, sunshine will continue to build in through the area. A fair day for your Saturday. Sunday, another day of transition as we start to see more clouds and moisture coming on through. And especially late Sunday, there could be a chance for some scattered showers across the area. More specifically, though, for tonight, looking at mostly cloudy skies, bottoming out near 26 degrees. You might be heading off to a company Christmas party tonight. Definitely dress warmly. It will be a nippy one. Tomorrow, more sunshine, but it stays chilly, 37 degrees. And then after that, we'll start to see the weather finally warming up early next week, back into the 40s and 50s. So hang in there. The weather should be improving. Maggie?
Sports Director Donnie Tillman joining us now. More injury problems arise for the Fighting Illini men's basketball team.
Yeah, Maggie, Illinois just can't seem to catch a break, and this time another player is out for a considerable chunk of time. That story and more next in sports.
Now, sports with Donnie Tillman.
Good evening, everyone. It's the same old story for the Fighting Illini men's basketball program. More injury news that head coach John Gross has to deal with. LeRon Black is out once again. Coach Gross told CBS Sports he's out indefinitely with no timetable set for return. Now, Black had surgery back in October to repair a torn right meniscus. Illinois could apply for 3 possible medical red shirts with Tracy Abrams, LeRon Black, and Mike Thorne Jr. all on the shelf. To NFL football now, it could be the final curtain call for the team that occupies the greatest show on turf. The St. Louis Rams could possibly play their final home game tonight as St. Louis hosts Tampa Bay. The NFL wants to move 1 if not 2 teams to Los Angeles next season. Rams and San Diego Chargers are thought to be the front runners to relocate, with Oakland a possibility as well. As far as rookie front runners this season, Rams head coach Jeff Fisher says they'll face a good one under center tonight for the Bucs.
You know, Jameis has just improved. He's improved all year. I think the thing that's most impressive about Jameis is their offense at 42% on third down right now. And when you go out and you play a rookie quarterback all year and they're converting 42% of their third downs, that's impressive.
Rams and Bucs kick off in about an hour from now on the NFL Network. Rams will be wearing the all-gold jerseys with blue trim tonight. Adjust your TV sets. St. Louis, by the way, also placed defensive end Robert Quinn on IR today. The Chicago Bears will be outdoors in Minnesota this Sunday when the team visits the Vikings. That game will be played at the University of Minnesota as they get ready to open up a new indoor stadium next season. Bears wideout Alshon Jeffrey was limited in practice Wednesday with a calf injury, and today he missed practice with an illness. Linebacker Pernell McPhee was limited with his lingering knee issue. Bears and Vikings meet this Sunday at noon. As for the Green Bay Packers, the Pack head to the West Coast to visit the Oakland Raiders Sunday afternoon. And Oakland quarterback Derek Carr impressed many through Week 9 this season with 19 touchdowns and just 4 interceptions. But since then, a 9-to-5 touchdown to interception rate and 50 yards less per contest. Still, Packers coach Mike McCarthy thinks Carr is a future talent in the NFL.
Good young player, can make all the throws. He's gets the ball out quick. You can see that for a young player, doesn't take sacks. So they're doing a lot of shifts and motions, and conceptually they're challenging. I think they're definitely a talented offense. He's got good weapons around him.
Packers visit Oakland this Sunday at 3:05 p.m. But most importantly, it is round 2 of fantasy football playoffs.
And you're still in?
The 6th seed going strong. We knocked off the 1 last week. Now we're going.
Wow.
We're trying to get to the championship game.
I'm cheering you on because I was out long before.
Well, if I win, I'll buy you a bag of potato chips.
Oh, thank you. Don't go away.
Just
we
a bag
still
of
have
chips.
one last look at that Storm Team 20 forecast.
Well, you still have a few days left to donate new unwrapped toys for the Toys for Tots program. News Channel 20 is helping collect the toys for the U.S. Marines. If you'd like to donate, you can drop off toys at our station here on Cook Street until December 23rd.
We are about to wrap things up here on the News at 6. We have plenty of news, though, coming up tonight at 9 and 10.
First tonight on Fox Springfield News at 9, it may seem like nothing new. Police pulling over drivers in central Illinois community, but it was to give them something other than a ticket. The unexpected presents handed out to surprise drivers.
I'm intrigued. Then tonight on News Channel 20 at 10, it's opening night for the first Star Wars movie released in more than a decade. Find out what fans are saying after the first showing in Springfield. We promise, don't worry guys, no spoilers.
Going on Newsroom to figure out what everybody's saying.
So exciting. All right, and the weather.
And what's not exciting though, the chilly weather that we got going on. I think most of us are kind of complaining about it, but it will stay chilly for today, tomorrow, right through Saturday. After that, the warming trend starts. We'll be back into the 50s, but also seeing some wet weather too, returning next week.
A little bit of something for everyone.
That does it for us. We'll see you back here at 10.